But right now, if you're watching at 7:17, we want to send things back over to meteorologist Payton Malone, who's tracking Bertha.
You know, Leah, I said earlier, if it was about 100 years ago, maybe even less, I'm not sure many people would even know there's a tropical storm sitting just over 200 miles away from us. We are not expecting significant weather today. It's going to be hot, muggy, and there may be a shower or two. But look, that's a live view this morning, looking over the French Quarter with very little. I mean, we don't even have clouds in that visual there. Now, here's what it looks like on satellite this morning. This is our 7 a.m. update, 50-mile-per-hour winds. And I'm so grateful the satellites we have nowadays. It really is amazing. They take an image every 1 minute. It gives you just this beautiful view of a, well, not a pretty tropical storm, meaning it's not organized and it's not organizing in anything very quickly. And I shouldn't say it's not organized. It's not properly structured to strengthen. That right there is the low-level circulation of Bertha. She's exposed, and that means that there are no thunderstorms wrapping around the center. And in order to get a strengthening tropical system, you've got to have thunderstorms wrapping around the center for it to actually intensify. This is a good thing. There are a burst of storms right now on the southern side of the circulation, but it's got so much dry air and wind shear that's pushing down on this thing that it's probably not going to look much different than what it looks like right now. And it's moving northwest at 5 miles an hour. It's sped up a little bit, but this thing has just been meandering, bobbing around through the northern Gulf over the past few days. And it eventually is going to start to get more of a steady movement to it over the next 24 hours. This afternoon, they've got it at a 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm south of Pensacola. By tonight, it's south of Mobile as look at it, it's weakening, and there may not be much left of it as it moves into Louisiana tomorrow, meaning it may not actually look anything like it does right now. Now, that low-level center in circulation is going to start to spin inland, and that may produce a strong wind gust or two tomorrow. So here's we go. Let's track the rain, because I think you may be thinking, well, it's going to rain. There's a tropical storm. Probably not much at least. Now, we're going to have passing showers, but notice where the bulk of the rain is. Grand Isle to the south. You may not even get a lot in Grand Isle, but the more you go out into the Gulf here, the rainfall totals are going to really start to add up. How much is going to fall out here in the Gulf? 10 to 15 inches looks likely. Thank goodness this thing's not coming in further north, because that would cause problems. But there's the coastline of Louisiana. I mean, there's probably a couple spots that pick up 1 to 2 to 3 inches here through Thursday, but we're not looking at widespread flooding. Think typical scattered storms during the afternoon. Those can sometimes lead to some flooding. But the thing with all this, it's going to be moving, so I don't see any stationary storms passing through. So that's why I think the flood risk is rather limited here. Now, flooding on the coast is a different story. Water's going to start to come up. We've got a persistent east wind. Water piles up in these shorelines, eastern Plaquemines, eastern St. Bernard, 2 to 4 feet over in Gulfport, Bay St. Louis. So if I'm down in Shell Beach or Wyclowski, you know when water starts to come up by a couple of feet, it's going to happen. And some of those low-lying roads are going to see some inundation down here. The worst of the water for us, though, is going to be in this little area where the water piles up, and that's typically around Lake Borgne. This white area is where the levee protection system is in the metro. So anything outside of that, water comes up by 2 to maybe 4 feet, especially in eastern St. Bernard. And maybe far out there, just outside of Michoud and the facilities where the levee stops, that's where water's going to climb too. So overall, I wouldn't call it a big storm for us at all. I think many of us tomorrow will feel like it's a normal summer day with a nice breeze coming off the lake. If you are going to be out near the water, it is going to be choppy. I don't recommend being on the water for the next 72 hours. Today's not bad, but tomorrow and especially Thursday, things are still rocking and rolling. Tropical storm warnings are in effect for the Gulf right now, and tropical storm watches are in effect for the lakes. The only lake that has a warning is Lake Borgne at the moment. And I guess Lake Catherine. Our Tuesday high tides are going to happen this morning. I think high tides tomorrow morning and Thursday morning. That's when we see some of our coastal flooding, at least most noticeably. High tides go into low tide once we head into the evening.